With all the trouble the three of us boys caused Mom when she talked about having a monster at home, it would have been easy to assume she was talking about one of us. Never Kathleen, but one of us boys. But I think each one of us kids would know exactly what I was talking about when Mom talked about her monster. Mom wasn't talking about any one of us kids, but she was talking about the yeast that grew in her refrigerator. Now, looking back on it, this is the truth. I have no idea what Mom cooked with that yeast, if it was for biscuits, I don't remember Mom making bread. I have zero clue what she did with it, but my mom's first name was Ione, and it kind of became known as Ione's monster to her friends. People would come by and they would say, "Oh, Ione, can I get a piece of your monster?" And they would share it. She would put it in a jar or a container, whatever she would put it in, and they would take it home, and pretty soon they would have part of Mom's monster growing in their refrigerator as well. And when you visited their house, as I often did to one of my friends' house, they'd say, "Oh, the monster in my refrigerator is from your mom." And I always got a kick out of it, and people would look at me like, "Huh? You know, what are you talking about?" My buddies would look at me like I was crazy, but Mom nurtured that monster well. She took care of it. I don't know if you have to feed a yeast monster. I don't know what you do to it, but Mom paid attention to the thing. She loved it. She cared for it. I remember there was a way to split it. I sort of think about that, but other than that, totally lost on me. Other than that, Mom had a monster in the refrigerator that she fed, that she nurtured, and that she took pride in, and that she shared with her friends. It was a positive monster, because from that monster, she could feed her family. From that monster, she could take care of things in the household. From that monster, she took joy, oddly enough. Occasionally, I remember saying something along the lines of, "Could you check on my monster?" It seems crazy now. And if you know what that's all about, maybe you could drop me a note and let me know, because I literally have no recollection of how it was taken care of, what it was all about. But I have fond memories of a mother who cared for a little monster in the household. I think each one of us have monsters inside of us, and we get to choose which ones are good and positive monsters. The ones that deserve to be fed. The little monsters that deserve to be shared with our friends. The little monsters that we need to let out from time to time. Because if I remember right, I think basically it was yeast, like I said, and which is leaven, and that's which lifts everything up. And without a little monster in life, it's going to be hard to lift everything up from time to time. In fact, Jesus talked about us being leaven in the world. That if the world was in fact bread, that those of us who live in love, those of us who have genuine hope, those of us who treat each other the way we're intended to treat each other, well, we're leaven, and we lift up the entire loaf. I don't know how you're leading your life today, and if you're lifting up the loaf or if you're letting life down. But I hope you're feeding that little monster. The good one, not the bad one. Because the negative one, the nasty one, the one that looks around and only sees the bad in the world and doesn't see the good in the world, so easy to feed. But that one that looks out at a glorious sunrise, the one that remembers to get up and share the day with a friend, The one that remembers to welcome someone in and say, hey, let me share my monster with you. That one is the one we're supposed to share. The one that comes with life, the one that comes with love, the one that lifts everyone up. I'm so thankful that I had a mom who nurtured a monster right in the household. I want to nurture a positive monster in my household also, so that I can be salt, so that I can be light, so that I can be leaven, so that I can lift up the community around me, because I want to be the miracle. Don't you want to be the miracle today? You were created to be miraculous. You weren't created to be humdrum. You weren't created to just kind of make it through. You were created to be the miracle in your world today. Within that miracle is a little monster just waiting to be fed. A monster that maybe you haven't been feeding lately. Maybe it's time to get in there, feed it. Mom used to say, well, to take care of this monster, I have to share it. And she would split it and she would share it with her friends. A monster that maybe you haven't been sharing. We need to be sharing the joy, the love, the hope that's in the world. Hey, go out there and be the miracle today. Have a fantastic day. I'm going to church. I'm preaching on faith enough for freedom. I'm looking forward to it. Boy, if you want to talk about a hard chapter from the Bible, read Jeremiah 39. Absolutely crushes all hope and faith. And then the little bit of hope that comes in the 40th chapter. That's what I'm preaching from today. Then I'm going to the streets tonight. It's going to be a fantastic day. That's my prayer. Why don't you come with me? Come. Let's feed the monster together. Have a great day. Be the miracle.